Mountain West basketball. The number 12 ranked team in the United States, the UNLV Running Rebels at 18-3 here in Boise to take on the Broncos. The Broncos are 10-8 and looking for their first win in conference play. Hello to everyone. Art Wolf alongside the coach, Bob Donowald. So glad that you're with us. The Broncos looking for the upset, and coach 9-1 at home, and they're expecting this place rocking tonight.
Well, the place will be rocking, and they're a better basketball team at home than they are on the road. It'll be interesting to see if they can keep that going tonight.
UNLV is red hot. They've won 9 of 10, and all season long they've leaned on Chase Stenback, their leading scorer. Great
athlete, leading scorer, gets involved in transition, can knock down the three, take it to the basket. He's a very versatile scorer, and you got to watch him at all times.
For Boise State, they lean on a true freshman, the Aussie, Anthony Dremick, who leads the team in scoring and rebounding.
And his best basketball is in front of him. He can drive the ball to the basket, a step slow, but he is dynamite when he can catch and shoot it.
Starting lineups, first of all, for UNLV, Anthony Marshall has really raised his game in conference play, averaging 22 points a game, and Mike Mosier on the season averaging a double-double. For Boise State, the lineup has been decimated by injuries. Derek Marks and Drew Wiley get the start tonight, but they will lean heavily on Anthony Dremick and Wesley Perryman. Take a look at the fans. They are ready to go. They want to take down a ranked opponent. But Dave Rice and the Running Rebels, they want to improve. They've only been okay on the road. They have not been great on the road, just 4-3. And Leon Rice and the Broncos 9-1 at home, and they want to put an end to their 4-game losing streak. So we've got 20 minutes on the clock, and we're ready for Mountain West hoops. Buckner's going to jump center against Masamba. Rebels, the leading team in terms of points on the season in Mountain West play. They like to run. Their motto on the season is let's run. In their last 2 conference games, averaging 90 points. 101 last Wednesday against TCU and 80 against New Mexico on Saturday. Marshall, open triple, got it. We saw him working on that shot after shoot-around with Heath Schroyer, the assistant coach, and Stroke looked pretty good there, Coach.
Well, I was going to give you the credit and say you did a marvelous job of working with him today. You're right. We saw that, and that's the area where he needs to continue to improve.
Ball hits on the baseline. It'll be a turnover for Boise State. But yes, Anthony Marshall, and we're going to have a graphic to document. He was having a great season, and then since conference play has started, he is really becoming a star in the Mountain West.
And I talked to UNLV's Coach Rice about that. He said he stayed within the system. He just continues to learn. He wants to get better.
Belfield can't get the shot off. Mosier wants the 3 off the back iron. Loose ball, and the Broncos come away with it. Derek Marks, a good-looking freshman. Pass it over Perryman, the triple. And that hits off the play clock. So it's going to be UNLV basketball.
Now, all right, what you'll see UNLV basically do in a half-court setting is set a lot of ball screens and then run their offense out of those, like right there.
Mosier doesn't want the jumper. Gets it back from Masamba. And that 3 too long. Stenback, the rebound. Belfield the triple. A lot of offensive rebounds. Stenback, another look. Bang. You cannot give UNLV that many looks, and they're one of the top offensive rebounding teams in the Mountain West and in the country. You cannot afford to give them extra attempts.
Well, I think that the Broncos just kind of stood around. They didn't react to the ball well in that situation.
So Stenback with the 3 leads the team with 54 made threes on the season. That's an air ball. Mosier the rebound.
He's got to take the ball. Buckner's got to take the ball and go to the basket there.
Masamba working on Buckner. Back to his right. Easy 2. And Boise State quickly gets a timeout. It's 8-0 running Rebels.
All right, a good timeout for Coach Rice of Boise State, because right now they're playing a little bit timid. They're taking shots way out on the floor. They aren't taking the ball and going to the basket. That's what Coach has got to talk about.
Coach, let's take a look at the play you were talking about where it seemed like the Boise State guys were standing around on these long rebounds.
Well, if you'll see them, they just kind of look at them. They're all just standing there watching, and the ball comes out to the best shooter on the other team, and bingo, it's a wide-open three. You're as close to any defensive man on the Broncos right there.
They've got a better shot at playing defense than I do, Coach. I can promise you that. So a little bit more than 2 minutes gone by, and a fantastic start for the running Rebels.
Now, what the Broncos do well in a half-court setting is they'll get 4 guys out on the floor, work the ball down inside, and they'll also down screen, as we see them doing right there, and get the ball to their perimeter guys.
Now, Coach, I know that injuries are no excuse, especially from an old-school coach like yourself, but 2 key starters hurt for Boise State as Dremick cannot hit the 3. Jeff Iloriaga and Igor Haziomarovich, neither of those guys playing as UNLV turns it over. So Boise State a little undermanned tonight going against the number 12 team in the country. They're going to have to play lights out. It's Marks. Too strong. Marshall the rebound.
I think they're relying on the three-point shot too much right now. Now, Dremick has got to shoot his, but everybody else has got to slow down, get the ball to the bucket.
Stand back. Nice pump fake. Marshall into the paint, gives off Masamba, easy too. Beautiful assist from Anthony Marshall.
Marshall is great when he can drive the ball to the basket, create offense for himself or his teammates.
Wiley's 3, no good. And, Coach, you were just saying, and they're shooting threes early in the clock, too. They're not making UNLV play much defense.
That's a good point. You can't play it that way. You got to take the ball to the basket and challenge them.
The Broncos 0 for 4 from long distance. This time they'll settle down in the half court. Broncos looking for their first points. Dremick, and that's blocked by Marshall. No, check that. It's Belfield with the block.
Take a look at this other end, and when Marshall drives that ball to the basket, see, he can create so doggone well. Defense rotates up, he finds the open man.
You know what I liked as much as anything is he avoided the contact on the pass. A lot of times guys will give that pass and run right into the defender, and you get the charge call. He avoided the contact.
He really has a feel for where everybody is and is able to hit the open man.
I mean, I'm not the first person to say this, but right now he's a contender for the Mount West Player of the Year. And the way he continues to play the way he has since conference play had started. Justin Hawkins, who just checked into the game, a junior from Los Angeles. Very nice player coming off the bench.
Samba did a great job of bodying and defensively and really created problems on that shot.
Good help that time from Dremick, but it will remain UNLV basketball.
The Rebels will have one of those big men down inside where as they penetrate and drive, they can drop or they can just go directly to him.
Oh, nice pass. Easy, 2 for Hawkins. .12-zip our score. Marks freed himself up nicely to get off the shot.
That's what they got to do. They've got to take the ball and go to the basket and create offense for themselves or their teammates.
Marks making just his 2nd start of the season. 3rd in scoring for the Broncos. Hawkins doesn't want the 3.
Rebels really like to penetrate, Ari, and create offense for themselves or their teammates.
Belfield, step back triple. Not this time. Belfield shooting 33% from beyond the arc on the season. Perryman being hounded by Belfield. Marks can't get off the shot, needs some help. And UNLV, they're so athletic and they're exchanging parts very easily. They can keep switching because they have guys who can defend so many different positions. As Watkins misses, Broncos will get another chance here.
Grove play did a great job of going after that ball.
And Dremick off on the three. Bro play, saves it off, stand back. And we have a timeout on the floor. 14:39 to go in the first half. An outstanding start for the Runnin' Rebels, looking for their first road win in Mountain West play. Mountain College basketball is brought to you by Dodge, Never Neutral. By Geico, saving people money on more than just car insurance. And by America First Credit Union, where members come first. Well, welcome back to Taco Bell Arena. UNLV off to a great start, leading 12-2. Keys to the game are brought to you by Ram Trucks. Guts, glory, Ram.
Coach? Well, all right, let's talk about UNLV. They can score really well out of transition. And secondly, the Rebels create offense off of forced turnovers. And for Boise State, the Broncos need to be productive from behind the arc, haven't so far. And secondly, they need to score from the free throw line. They're getting over 21 a game right now. They haven't even come close, but you got to take the ball in the bucket.
Neither team has committed a foul so far. A little more than 5 minutes gone by here in the first half.
All right, here's what I see. Right now, I think that the Broncos are intimidated. They're not focused. They're not playing the way they need to play, more assertive, more aggressive towards the bucket, taking the ball towards the bucket if they're going to have a chance to be competitive tonight.
Well, you mentioned the word intimidation. Boise State just 1 of 10 shooting, 0 for 5 from beyond the arc. I think they're just a little anxious playing against this UNLV team. I mean, you know, they see the scores, what UNLV's been doing to other opponents. They're aware of it. Bro play. Misses that badly, and ball out of bounds off Justin Hawkins. It will remain Bronco basketball.
That's what I mean. Bro play isn't that bad a shooter. Come on. You and I could shoot it that well. I mean, right now they aren't focused, and they're going to have trouble if they don't get this under control and start playing the way they need to.
Perryman inbound from the baseline. Lopez is checked in for UNLV. He's coming off, tying his career high with 14 points in their big win against New Mexico. Marks loses it. Here comes Anthony Marshall. He's got Stanback with him. Nice pass. Oh, but Stanback too much on the layup. He bricks it off the board. Perryman trying to go baseline. And Hawkins is fouled. Well, you talked about UNLV and their ability to score in transition. They force a little more than 16 turnovers per game, and once they get their hands on it, they're so quick to turn it around and head up court.
I think they do the best job of anybody in the league of putting pressure on you and making you or forcing offensive opportunities out of their defense. And as I said, they can go up and down that floor and create offense out of their transition.
And they're legit 10 deep, Coach, and you just don't see that very often. I mean, their second five could beat a lot of teams in America.
Well, I'm talking to Coach Rice today about that. He said, Bob, he said, I think that we wear people down. That's why we're a better second half team than we are first half.
Lopez, nice take, misses it. And Mosier comes away with it. Open shooters, Marshall. And he misses the three, marks the rebound. Marks takes it in, finger roll, very nice. Derek Marks.
The defense played Dremick, and thus Marks was able to take the ball and go to the basket.
Marshall a little shaken up on the play. He's going to stay in the game.
I don't know whether we're going to get to see. Yeah, we saw the defensive man slide out of the picture, and he was going over to Dremick because he didn't want Dremick to get a three-point play, and Marks read it very, very well.
A replay brought to you by America First Credit Union, where members come first. So 4 straight points for the Broncos. It's an 8-point game. Lopez is triple-teamed and fouled, and he will go to the free throw line.
Really good high-low situation. Lopez is really good down in there. Uses a lot of cleverness. He'll use what we call a step-through move, or he'll use his jump hook. We saw the jump hook right there.
Coach Rice had terrific things to say about Lopez's performance against New Mexico. He had a lot of key baskets for him.
Well, you see, he's one of those youngsters you're talking about. he comes off the bench. He could start in most places. He's coming off the bench, and thus they don't lose anything in making a switch. And usually, most teams struggle when they have to replace their postman.
And how many teams in America have 3 legit 5s on their team? You know, you start Masamba, you've got Lopez and Quintrell Thomas. Now, Thomas is only 6'8", but he plays like a center. He's a big guy at 245 pounds. Lopez actually played some 4 against New Mexico, so they're able to get 2 of their really big guys on the floor at the same time as Trey Nichols being hounded. And almost another turnover.
That's that defense I'm talking about. Yeah, they're having trouble running an offense because of the Rebels' defense.
Bro play. Kicks out. Nickel open 3. No. Marshall the rebound. Watch out. Yep. There comes the defender. And here come the Broncos. Marks. Very nice how he shielded off Marshall and got the 2.
Hey, pretty good.
Yeah.
Pretty good. He used his body well to protect the ball. Got to know who's behind you, though, and he got the ball taken away. Marshall, because he wasn't aware of what was behind him.
Marks has got all 6 points for Boise State. Lopez, nice pump fake. Creates some position and misses the shot.
Now the Rebels are standing and not going after the ball.
The Broncos survived that early wave from the Rebels. They've got a chance to cut it to 4, perhaps 3. Roll play. Tough shot, no. Put back, no, but a foul.
We're going to watch this play right here. Nice steal. So you got to know what's behind you. Now watch him use his body well. Marks does a great job. He's just a freshman. That's an excellent way to score. Uses that off arm to keep the defense away, and then lays the ball in the bucket.
So Buckner at the free throw line, 68% on the season. Too much on the first one.
It's another thing the Broncos have got to do as they're driving and penetrating. All right, they got to look for the open man because the Rebels do a great job of rotating and filling, and you got to be able to pitch the ball quickly.
Coach, the Rebels have now not scored in more than 4 minutes. So Boise State getting themselves into this game as Buckner's 0 for 2. Mosier the rebound. Anthony Marshall getting a rest right now. Belfield back in there running the point. Mosier from 18. Count it.
See, they can go down inside to so many different people and create offense just on a one-on-one play like they did right there.
Mosier averaging a double-double. And here's the steal by Mosier. He's got some help. And Belfield couldn't get to it in order to attack the goal. Wallace, the jumper, no. And Mosier, another offensive rebound.
He is all over the floor right now.
And Hawkins just misses the 3. Handstead the rebound. They had to burn Handstead's red shirt because of injury problems. Freshman from North Dakota wears number 5. He's got the ball right now.
They like that dribble weave, what we call dribble weave. They'll just dribble and rotate positions, but they like to go down in there, and Buckner's got to score well down in there.
Hawkins comes from behind and swats that one into the first row. We take a break. Boise State trying to feel their way into this game. Right now, the Rebels with a 9-point lead. UNLV leads Boise State 15-6, and something has to give tonight, Coach. One of these teams can't be successful in this area. UNLV 18-1 when they out-rebound their opponents. Boise State has not been out-rebounded this season. And when you look at the athleticism and the size, you think Boise State's got no chance to out-rebound UNLV. But so far, they're in front.
Well, and as I said to you earlier today when we were talking to Boise State's Coach Rice, I said, you rebound better than your size.
Yes.
They tracked the ball down extremely well, and UNLV got off to a really good start, and they may have just said, oh, this game's over. We can just kind of rotate or, rest here. And the Broncos Coach Rice has really, really emphasized, he says he spends a lot of time trying to teach going after the basketball.
It was tough on head coach Leon Rice because against TCU, the final 8 minutes of the game, you know, I think it's fair to say went about as poorly as possible for them. And then the first 6 minutes tonight went about as poorly as possible. Here come the Rebels. Hawkins to Mosier. Really? An offensive foul. It sure looked like he tried to get out of the way of the defender.
I thought he did a marvelous job of stepping and avoiding the charge.
I hope we've got another look. I mean, if you try to avoid the contact. All right, so watch 43.
Watch him step to his left right there. You got to hit that guy in the chest or it's not a charge. At the break, you go out and tell that official.
Hey, I'm going to let you. You've had a little more experience talking with officials than me.
There's been a few times when I've tried to help him.
That's right.
Broncos are having trouble running an offense. The pressure is bothering them.
Quintrell Thomas in the game for the first time for the Rebels. He wears number 1. Perryman probing, kicks it out, shot clock. Marks has got to get it off. And would have been a shot clock violation. It is. See, in that situation, I wish they didn't blow the whistle because the ball was already out of his hands. Just let UNLV grab it.
UNLV gets the ball, yeah, but what happens if the Broncos get the ball? Then you got to stop it?
Yeah.
You know, so.
Sort of like advantage, you know?
Exactly. Advantage, disadvantage.
Yeah.
I wouldn't disagree with you, but I think they just want to stay with a consistency. I think we're seeing a zone right here, a 1-2-2 zone or a 3-2 zone. And now what you'll see the Rebels do is they'll utilize that high post, but they didn't get it in there.
Yeah, Marshall a little careless on that pass. Here come the Broncos. Perryman, nice take. But Bellfield's going to get called for the goaltend.
Broncos are doing a better job of getting the ball and going to the basket. You can't block it right in front of the rim. Right there, they're going to call that.
Hard to tell, though, if it was coming down just yet.
No, I know that. But their officials will call that call the way they did.
Stanback misses the elbow jumper. Broncos crawling their way back into this. They trailed 12-0. And a turnover.
The pass was over here in the corner to Drimmick. He was wide open. The defense rotated. And if you're going to drive like that, you've got to know who's open. Zone's bothered him a little bit here. They'll screen out of the high post. Right there's your screen. And they'll look to get it down inside.
Ball knocked out of bounds by the Broncos. Rebels inbound from the baseline. 9 minutes, 12 seconds to go till halftime.
Rebels look a little unsure. I don't think they've been as sharp lately as they were early.
I mean, I'm going to use a football analogy. Coach, it's the equivalent of coming out of a game and leading 14-0 right away, and then you have a tendency to relax. And in this case, it was basketball, and it was 12-0, but they have not been as sharp as we saw in the opening minutes.
Correct. And I'll tell you what, it can easily happen to any team in any sport.
Thomas thought about that one too long. An air ball. Marshall gets it to Hawkins.
Need to flash up into that high post.
Before the shot. Timeout UNLV. And Coach Rice is not happy right now.
No, he sees that his zone offense is really struggling. His guys seem unsure or tentative, not really understanding what they need to do. And then what they got to do is they got to flash up into that high post more, and they got to screen more.
Out-of-town scoreboard is brought to you by Remax. The sign you want, the agent you need. We'll have those scores for you in just a moment. 8:58 to go in the first half. Mountain West Tournament in Vegas. You better get your tickets now. Limited seats are available in the lower bowl. They're expecting a total sellout. Now, last year, the semifinals and the championship game were sellouts. This conference has been amazing thus far in the 2011-2012 season. So get your tickets and get to the Mountain West Tournament in Las Vegas.
One team that's going to be in the NCAA is right out there on that floor right now in those red uniforms.
Soft touch for Marshall, and it still won't go.
Broncos have got some nice-looking freshmen, don't they?
Yes. No, their future's bright.
Oh, yeah. Be patient. Get that ball down inside and take it to the
I like just like that, Coach. Thomas broke play with the left hand. A 10-3 run for the Broncos over the last 7 minutes.
Need to penetrate a little bit and get somebody up in that high post.
Marshall's triple, and that's way off.
Missed the wrong man. He should have thrown it to Watkins. Watkins was wide open going down there.
And Marks loses the handle. It's Marshall ahead of the pack. With the right hand, gets it to go. Anthony Marshall.
The Rebels are so good with their hands in creating offense out of their defense. They are just unbelievable.
First field goal for UNLV since there was 11 minutes and 40 seconds to go. So that's their second drought of almost 4 minutes in the first half, yet they still have a 7-point lead. Bro play, he'll shoot the triple, and that's way off.
Dremick was wide open down in the corner with nobody around him. You got to see that. A lot of standing.
Yep. Hawkins open three. No, we've seen a lot of missed three-point shots from both teams. UNLV 2 of 11 from beyond the arc, and Boise State 0 for 7. Marks. Oh! Derek Marks. We saw him in the warm-ups with some great dunks, but that one in the half-court set. And Thomas is fouled hard.
He went over Thomas. He went over Thomas so easily. And with such authority, it was unbelievable.
Here's Bro play with the left hand. And the Broncos aren't scared of the run to Rebels. Here comes Marks over Thomas. UNLV, a 5-point lead. They led 12-0. Broncos on a roll right now. Out-of-town scoreboard is brought to you by RE/MAX. The sign you want, the agent you need. Last night, San Diego State won in Wyoming by 10. TCU beats Air Force. Hank Thorns with 22 points, and New Mexico leads Colorado State 10-4.
Wyoming's close to being good. I'm telling people, that basketball team has made incredible strides this year, and before this year's over, they're going to beat somebody really good.
How about we already say they're already good, and they're close to being great? Because they're definitely at least good right now.
Okay. Play with words. They aren't great. They're close to being pretty doggone good.
Yes. We're in total agreement there, Coach.
Yeah, okay.
Thomas gets the first free throw. 62% on the season for Quintrell.
Larry Scheidt and his staff have done a marvelous job, and I'm going to have a chance to see him play on Saturday. I'm looking forward to it.
You're right back here on Saturday, right?
Yeah, correct.
Reggie Smith in the game for UNLV, wears number 5. Transfer from Marquette, became eligible at the end of the first semester. Dremick backdoor. Derek Marks made a beautiful bounce pass, and Marks has been really sharp here in the first half.
That was set up at that timeout. Great call by the coach.
Everyone's standing around on the perimeter for UNLV.
Yeah, and they got to start dribble penetrating. They got to utilize their high post better, like right in there and into the open man. One more pass, that could be a charge.
Thomas the rebound. In traffic, gets the basket. And the fans don't like the no call.
They do a lot of switching on those ball screens, or half switching. Yeah, there. See, penetrate, get it to the open man.
Dremick misses it. Marshall the rebound. Belfield. Short on the 3. Didn't follow it, or could have had an offensive rebound.
He didn't have any legs either. He armed it. And by legs, I mean he really got to snap up into it.
Nichols will drive. Misses the layup. Marshall, another rebound. Marshall's got 4 rebounds to go along with his 5 points. And the ball knocked out of bounds. Mosier and Masamba check back in for the Rebels.
See, that's what you can do as a Rebel, as a Rebels coach. You just keep playing checkers. You just keep moving them in and out.
We are coming to you from Taco Bell Arena in Boise, Idaho. My name is Ori Wolf, alongside the coach, Bob Donowald. So glad you could join us for Mountain West Hoops. UNLV trying to keep pace. Everyone chasing San Diego State. The Aztecs a perfect 4-0 in Mountain West play.
I can see where they're 9-1 at home. They're a different basketball team here. They're young, and they'll get to the point where they're pretty good at away from home.
Shot clock at 5. Smith launches and connects. Reggie Smith, the deep triple. How about this, Coach? On the season, he's 6 for 10 from beyond the arc.
Yeah, and he didn't want to shoot that one.
No, he didn't.
And then all of a sudden, well, I better get it up or we aren't going to get a shot.
Bro play. He responds with a 3 of his own. So Boise State finally hits the 3. They're now 1 of 10 from beyond the arc.
They screened and flared. The defense dropped off, and he had plenty of room.
We've got a foul away from the ball.
See, Smith doesn't want to shoot it here. See, look at it. Okay, maybe I better shoot it. Hello. And then broke play. See how he slides over the side? No defense around him. They were zoning the driver or the ball handler and left the shooter wide open. And the Broncos go back man-to-man. Really interesting. And I say interesting because the zone was really creating problems for the Rebels.
Mosier stop and pop, swish.
And that's their game. The Rebels have so many players that can penetrate and create offense off the bounce.
What an impact transfer. Heading into the year, the preseason newcomer in the Mountain West, Xavier Thames, who's had a great year, but I think right now, if you had to give the award based on what's happened so far, Mosier's got to be the Mountain West newcomer. As Bro play a little bit short, but Buckner there to clean it up.
See, that's the other thing you do. The Rebels really rotate well, so you can go to the offensive board.
And Mosier way off. And Reggie Smith knocks that ball out of bounds. We've got a timeout on the floor. 3 minutes, 17 seconds to go till halftime. The Broncos make it a game of it. The Rebels lead by 7. Leads Boise State 26-19. Drive to the Hoop is brought to you by Jeep. Visit Jeep.com, your local dealer. In a unanimous vote, this wins the Drive to the Hoop.
That may be my favorite play of the game. Oh, it was the authority with which he threw that thing down. That's a freshman.
The freshman is only 6'2", dunking over a guy who's 6'8".
Now, I'm going to tell you something, Ari. You get to this point in the season, you aren't freshmen anymore. Come on. You've played 20 college basketball games. You aren't a freshman. You aren't a rookie. You got some things to learn come tournament time. But by now, you've been home, away, ahead, behind.
See, but,
good game, bad game.
I mean, you don't have to coach anymore. When you're still coaching and a freshman makes a mistake, it's because he's a freshman, right? Because he hasn't learned the error of his ways. But now, you can sit over here, you don't have to sweat it. Like, he's 20 games in. He's not a freshman anymore.
No, I want to tell you something. If he makes a mistake, it was a dumb plot.
Okay. Perryman inbound the basketball. And Dave Rice, you can tell, concerned. His team led 12-0. It looked like they were going to be on cruise control all night. And the Broncos have slowly but steadily got themselves back in this game, and Perryman cannot get the ball inbounds.
See, that's one of the ways that the Rebels create problems for you. Now, that just cost the Broncos a timeout. Their quickness, their intensity just shut the defense or offense out, and as a result of that, that could play big dividends down the road.
Coming up on Ram Trucks Halftime Live, join Marius Payton, Andrea Lloyd, and Fred Langley as they break down the first half and take a look around the league. And I'm excited. I get to work with Andrea on Saturday. UNLV Air Force. Anytime you get to be with a Hall of Famer, I think it's kind of exciting.
Oh, Without question.
As long as they promise only to put us on camera in a seated position, I'm happy to work with her.
Well, I'll tell you something. She knows basketball.
She sure does.
Oof.
And one of the more popular people on the planet. Everywhere I go with her, she's popular. Roll play with the left hand. Oh, comes out. Mosier the rebound. Mosier's got 7 rebounds.
One of the things the Rebels haven't done well is overall is their transition game. They tried to go there.
Stand back. That almost went in off the glass. I'm pretty sure he didn't call bank. Perryman, that's blocked, but contact. And Perryman to the free throw line. And Perryman's been very quiet offensively so far, just 2 points.
Perryman, though, is more of a true point guard, Ari, and he's going to pick his spots. If he gets to shooting too much, then I think the Broncos are in trouble. So he's got to just read situation, but he can explode there.
But doesn't it appear right now that Marks is really running the point and Perryman's back at his natural two-guard position? I feel like Marks has been initiating the offense more so far than Perryman.
It's been about 50-50, and I don't disagree with you, and I don't know whether with putting Marks into the lineup, that's the decision they've made, is kind of make it a twosome, and what they're trying to do is take the man that has the least amount of pressure on him and let him bring the ball. Little half-court, three-quarter court press. Did a great job of getting the ball in the middle. The Rebels.
7-2 run right now for the Broncos.
Back to the zone. Pick the ball up there. There you go.
Mosier. Off the back iron, long rebound. Belfield misses off the glass. And Buckner the rebound. Nice pass. Dremick. Still has not made a 3.
No, that's long.
And he's been struggling of late.
He's got to shoot that. Got to shoot it.
But over his last 4 games, just 5 for 26 from the three-point line. But here he comes. Gives up the shot. It's broke play. Got it. It's a 2-point game. Fans up out of their seats here at Taco Bell Arena. Mosier, baseline jumper, no. There's going to be a foul on Masamba. That's the 14th foul on the Rebels.
Watch the penetration. Dremick pulls the defense right there, freezes him, and now your shooter is wide open. Excellent play by Dremick. He set that whole thing up.
So a chance for Boise State, who trailed 12-0, to tie or take the lead on this trip. And Perryman, did he get the timeout before he fell out of bounds?
Yes. And that's a good call because he got the timeout.
So the clock stops here with 1 minute and 15 seconds to go till halftime.
Now, the problem is you drive that baseline like that, you better know where you're going because you don't want to put the ball on the baseline unless you got a purpose because you've isolated the ball and it's easier for the defense to adjust.
And that baseline becomes another defender.
Exactly. So you got nowhere to go. Now, if you can go, go. But don't drive it down there saying, let's see what I can find because that's just poor offensive decision.
I'm curious to see who for UNLV starts to show some leadership. Somebody step up, not necessarily scoring the basketball, but getting everybody's focus back because they've let the Broncos storm right back into this game.
I don't like their zone offense at all, and I know Coach Rice run it. Yeah, they just look confused. They've missed shots. They aren't snapping into anything. Their transition game has been mediocre. And let's see, they're ahead.
Roplay is going to try to tie it right here. going to be Bronco ball.
Yeah, they said hit the clock or something upstairs.
Yeah,
so
I think it hit the shot clock above the backboard.
Yeah.
The play clock and the shot clock are actually sort of together above the backboard. Dremick is stripped by Stanback, but it will remain Bronco basketball.
Stanback used his hands so well. In the minute Dremick started to bring it up, he just knocked it out of his hands. The Rebels really used their hands well.
Amazing that Boise State's only down 2 when you consider that Dremick only has 2 points. And he misses again. Marshall up high for the rebound. And here comes Hawkins. And he misses the layup. Another blown opportunity for UNLV. And Marks. And he's fouled by Marshall. So Marks will go to the line with a chance to tie this game at 26. I like this
bailed him out because he turned his back and it was going to be a throw. You got to get out of his way right there because it wasn't a good offensive play. He should have pulled up short and just taken a 3-footer.
But what I like about Marks is he's not showing any fear. You know, at the beginning, it seemed like Boise State was a little bit intimidated, Coach. He has not shown that he's intimidated at all. He seems to be relishing this opportunity.
No, the whole team has just fed off of him, and the crowd's gotten into it. And then as a result, we've got a heck of a basketball game on our hands.
Marks leads all scorers with 9 points. Chance to be the first guy into double figures, making just his second start of the season.
Yeah, they brought him off the bench even though he was one of their best scorers.
And Buckner gets it to Marks. Oh, I thought he was going to launch the 3. He rattles home the jumper, and the Broncos lead by 1. Five-second difference between the game clock to the shot clock. They got to get into their offense here, Coach. Hawkins, the 3. He delivers. Justin Hawkins.
36% from that line.
Dremick, no. What a roller coaster ride there, Coach. That was a wild 20 minutes of basketball. So the Rebels, who led by a dozen, it was 12-zip, will go to the locker room with a 2-point lead, and what a terrific comeback by the Broncos. And now we're going to send it to our Denver studios for Ram Trunk's Halftime Live. Guys, take it away. Mountain College basketball is brought to you by Jeep. Visit Jeep.com or your local dealer. By Motel 6, official economy lodging partner of basketball fans everywhere. And by Great Clips. It's going to be great. Welcome back to Boise. The Bronco fans getting their money's worth tonight. The number 12 ranked team in the country, the UNLV Rebels, are in town, and the Rebels only lead by 2. Hello again, everybody. Art Wolf alongside the coach, Bob Donewald. And, Coach, UNLV led 12-0. We thought this thing was over. Well, what did Boise State do to get back in the game?
Don't say we. It was way too early to decide that. Coach Rice took a timeout. I'll bail right out on you on that one. Coach Rice took a timeout. All of a sudden, Marks took over. They got aggressive, assertive, and just started controlling different facets of the game.
And Derek Marks, outstanding. The true freshman. First points of the game for Boise State were right there. He scored their first 6 points, Coach.
Well, and he found a variety of ways, but primarily he took the ball and went to the basket, as well as making some really... Oh, I love that.
And that's the highlight of the game.
You know what? He did so many different things.
Keys to the game brought to you by Ram Trucks. Guts, Glory, Ram. Let's revisit them, Coach.
Well, if you look at scoring out of transition, Rebels didn't do it. They didn't get anything done. Defensive pressure where they created offense, didn't get that done. The 3-ball, Boise State relied on it too early. You can see I'm 0 for 3 right now. On the charity line, 3 for 6. Free throws haven't been an issue.
No, they haven't. Both teams only had 14 fouls in the first half. So what do the Rebels do to start playing running Rebel basketball again here in the second half?
You hit it right on the head. They got to start getting the ball going. They got to create some offense out of their defense and complete the plays. And the third thing they got to do is start attacking that zone with some real purpose.
Boise State to start out with the basketball. The student section's loving it. They don't often get a team this highly ranked in the building. It's their first ranked opponent for a home game here at Taco Bell Arena since the 2009 season.
You got to get Marshall where he can take the ball and get into that defense and create some offense for the Rebels.
Yeah, Marshall in the first half just 2 for 8, 5 points. He also had 5 rebounds.
Yeah, he hit that 3 early, and then from then on, he wanted to shoot threes or stand around.
Same starting 5 for both teams. Derek Marks. He was the man in the first half. Gets the contact, and he'll shoot 2.
Really good shot fake. And got the defensive man up in the air. Marshall, it was an easy call. Marshall fouled. Really good shot fake. Watch him. Whoop. And then he leans into him just enough. He's been watching some NBA games.
That's exactly what I was thinking. Marshall has 2 fouls. Marks hits the first one. Marks now 2 for 3 from the free throw line. He's got 12 points in the game to lead all scorers.
He's been the best player on the floor.
He has been. And he's out there with a guy in Mike Mosier, who's one of 25 candidates to win the John Wooden Award as the best player in college basketball. So that's saying a lot for the true freshman.
Move the ball quickly. Well, it was open in the high post. Throw it in there.
Mosier's double team. Gets rid of it. Belfield, the 3. Short. Buckner, the rebound. Game tied at 29. First tie we've had in tonight's game.
The ball screens haven't been very good for the Broncos. The defense has been able to adjust to them pretty easily.
Because they can switch because they're so versatile defensively.
But the ball hasn't been going close enough to even utilize the screen.
Marks. Step back triple. No. Marshall the rebound. Marshall with the left hand, too strong.
That's what he's got to do, though.
The Rebels have missed several layups tonight. Perryman, nice crossover, but it's an offensive foul.
Did a great job of avoiding the defense out here on top, but he should have stayed under control where he could drop the ball off. Instead, you know, he just charged. Great play halfway. The Perryman has got to find the open man. The defense rotates.
Haven't heard much from Chase Stanback for a while. He's usually very consistent. Only 3 points in the first half. There he is. Baseline jumper, got it. They got to get him going. Chase Stanback.
Well, why Marks rotated in on that zone, I don't know, but nobody was around him. And Stanback had an easy shot.
Marks in some trouble. Good skip pass. Bro play's been hot. 3 and the foul. And Marshall picks up the foul. It's his 3rd. Bro play's got 11 points.
Look at the 3 here. You see the defense rotate? This is a foolish foul.
I'm not sure it's a foul at all.
I got him with the body as he turned. And he fell, which is really good offense.
Absolutely.
You got to stay away. You got to make sure there's distance between you and the ball handler.
Broncos lead by 2. The running Rebels in danger on the road. Nice pass.
Great feed. What a feed that was.
And Dave Rice wants a timeout. He gets it. We will take a timeout as well. An electric atmosphere at Taco Bell Arena. Boise State looking to shock the Mountain West. They lead by 4.
If you're in a Ford F-150 and you see this, it's the end of the road, the last hurrah. It's when Ford's powertrain warranty ends. But in this Ram truck, you've still got 39,999 miles to go.
Well-qualified lessees can get the 2012 Ram 1500 Express Quad Cab 4x4 for $299 a month.
Ram.
What do you call a competitor? Propelled by passion and driven by desire. A contender who brings you to your feet by refusing to fail. A teammate with unshakable confidence. Playing for the name on the front of the jersey instead of the one on the back. A hero made of metal.
Broncos with a 4-point lead over the running Rebels. 17:31 to go in the second half. And let's take a look back at this sequence, Coach.
Well, the ball they knocked the ball loose, and guess who it was? And Marks jars it loose, and then what a great pass that was. Just nailed it right on the money. Perryman just did a great job, and it was an easy offensive play.
If you're just joining us, UNLV led 12-0. And the crowd was completely out of the game. And then it was Derek Marks who started to get Boise State back into it. And UNLV's been rattled. Mosier from 16 off the back iron. Bro play the rebound. Here come the Broncos. It's Marks, and that's an offensive foul. Second team foul on Boise State. Both teams have 2 team fouls.
Coach Rice from Boise State, I don't know whether our fans saw it or not. Oh, he was upset. He said that's not a charge, and he wasn't driving exactly towards the bucket mark. He was going to that corner.
Leon Wright's going to be awfully proud. They're missing some key parts against the number 12 team in the country. And they are winning. It's Mosier for 3. Mike Mosier.
They've got to knock something in, and they've got to get the ball down inside and create some offense.
So Mosier's now got 7 points in the game and 7 rebounds. On pace for another double-double.
Oh, great pass.
Marks gets the 2. Marks has got 15 points.
Marks to Buckner. Buckner reads the defense, throws it right back to him.
Mosier, another 3. Same spot, same result. Mike Mosier.
Now, you better get to Mosier because he can flat out shoot the basketball. And the defense has been very slow rotating to him.
Game tied at 37. Marks, nice pass. Buckner the 2.
That was a no-one.
Yeah. And Derek Marks playing with a lot of confidence. Standbacks 3. Wow. All of a sudden, both teams lights out from beyond the arc after cold shooting in the first half.
Yeah, but I don't like the Broncos defensively right now. I think they're slow rotating to shooters. But the Rebels are doing a great job of sticking it in the bucket.
Marks again trying to create.
Gotta be careful they don't go to that too much.
Standback's got Mosier if he wants him. Tried to go for the highlight pass there instead of the simple pass. So we will take a timeout. 15-20 to go, second half. UNLV, 1-point lead. It's going to be great. Very very concerned Dave Rice, and for good reason. His Rebels only have a 1-point lead. They came in here having won 9 out of 10, feeling really good, coming off 2 great wins against TCU and New Mexico. And Boise State, a couple of starters out. They've lost 4 straight. You wouldn't have thought this game was going to be an upset. You can see both teams shooting it much better here in the second half. UNLV has been a much better second half team all season. Bro play, the triple. Short. Mosier the rebound. Mosier has really stepped up over the last few minutes. Hawkins open triple. No. Mosier, and he's fouled on the tip.
You know, Ari, you bring up a good point, though. Most people say, well, that may not be any kind of contest. But you see, 12th in the country, and more than deserving. But you're only as good as you're playing at that moment. And that's that intangible that you can't measure before the contest starts. How does Notre Dame beat Syracuse? I mean, it's the same thing. And as I told you at the break, I've been on both pitches. I know how both coaches are feeling right now.
Masamba fakes the pass, works hard. Good defense from Hawkins, but a foul.
See, I think that's one of the things the Rebels got away from, is getting it down inside and creating some offense, either at the line or easy baskets. They need to go do more of that.
Masamba to the free throw line. First free throw attempts of the night from Masamba. And first one too strong. Masamba's got 4 points in the game. And
he's not a good free throw shooter.
No.
But you still want to get it down in there to him and let him attack the basket.
0 for 2. He's just a 56% free throw shooter. So a chance for the Broncos to retake the lead. Oh, Marks, beautiful pass, but Mosier with the block. Hawkins, Mosier's already hit 2 from the corner. 3 for 3 for Mosier. He's got 13.
That isn't his forte. His forte is taking it to the bucket, but he's got a nice stroke.
He's found his spot tonight. That's 3 3-pointers from that corner here in the second half. And Bro play loses the handle.
Now, I think the mistake the Broncos are making right now is they got everybody standing out on the floor and one guy's going one-on-one. Okay, you can do some of that, but then you got to complement that with some other things, or the defense will start to really play on it. And that's what's going on right now.
Hawkins, pump fake. Stand back, can't get off the 3. Tough baseline shot. No good. Rebound to Buckner. Bro play. Double teamed. Rebels almost had a steal. Ball out of bounds. It will remain Boise State basketball. Now, Mosier has another double-double, Coach. He averages it on the season, and they almost take it for granted, but that's now 11 double-doubles this season and 5 in his last 6 games as he'll get a breather.
Athletic, long-armed, you know, and he started off by knocking down some threes when nobody else was knocking down 3.
Yeah, all 3 of those 3-point field goals coming here early in the second half when the Rebels desperately needed some offense. Because I'd asked you, I said, who's going to step up for the Rebels? And not only was he making shots, but you could see the emotion. He seemed to get his guys energized here in the second half. Because Boise State had all the momentum.
Boise State needs to run some other offensive plays, like these dribble screens.
Trey Nichols running the point right now. One of just a couple of seniors on the roster for Leon Rice. We're going to post up Derek Marks. In and out. Good look. Lopez the rebound. Wallace, the deep 3. Yes. Kendall Wallace.
Now the momentum has swung the other way, and it'll be interesting to see if the Broncos can weather this and then have their own surge.
Nice crossover, but Nichols loses the handle, and the Rebels are running. Wallace back to Belfield with the left hand, count it. I think the Broncos need a timeout here.
Yeah, I was just going to say that. Coach Rice needs to take a timeout.
And now they get the timeout. Boy, they were awfully slow getting the timeout. 7 seconds come off the clock. 11-0 run for the Rebels.
And it's been their defense that has created the opportunities for them. And boy, that was a deep one. You alluded to that. He was really deep. And then the great feed here to the score. He lays the ball in the bucket. And both of them were created out of defense.
Mosier was the catalyst, though, at the beginning of the second half. All the momentum was on the Broncos side. And here is Mike Mosier. All 3 of his threes coming here in the second half.
Well, see, you said at halftime, who from the Rebels standpoint is going to step up and take over? And there's the man that did it. And he got everybody else going. Then their defense took over and made some plays. That's a tough shot.
And then I like this. See, he's all fired up. The bench is fired up. Especially when you're on the road in a hostile environment, you need somebody to say enough is enough.
Exactly.
We're the number 12 team in the country. Let's start playing like it.
Now, Boise State has got to weather this. They got to come up. It'll be interesting to see what they run here. But they got to have more movement, and they're starting to do that. Get that defense adjusting to what you're trying to do as opposed to just being able to stand around.
Well, Derek Marks, who's been the spark plug for Boise State, not in the game right now.
And Dremick, they're trying to get the ball to him and weren't able to do it because the Rebels just kept switching.
Perryman. The 3 is good. A critical 3 from the senior.
That's a big shot.
Big shot.
And it wasn't an easy shot.
Shot clock was winding down. And Belfield just misses Lopez.
Well, Lopez leaning to his left, and Belfield threw it to his right. You know, wasn't a very good decision.
Perryman couldn't believe that he was coming out of the game for Marks, and it turns out he was right. But now they're not going to let him check back in because he had stepped off the court. Marks went for the wrong guy. He told Perryman he was coming out, was supposed to be Trey Nichols. So Perryman, who just hit the 3, is going to have to wait for another whistle. Because I was surprised. I thought, why would you take him out? He just hit the 3, but turns out coach didn't want to take him out. But this guy with the basketball thrilled the fans here with a dunk in the half-court set over Quintrell Thomas. I'm sure on many Mountain Sports reports you're going to be seeing that highlight.
The other thing that the Broncos haven't done is adjust and exploit that switching.
Nichols to Marks. Marks, tough shot. No. Buckner sets up Nichols. The open triple. Yes! Back to a 3-point game. 6 straight points for the Broncos. Guess they weathered the storm, Coach.
It's a big step in the maturity level when you can weather those storms.
Mosier.
And you got to be careful now. That isn't his strength. That's how Marshall did, or that's what Marshall did for a while. They're going to use those hands defensively.
Roll play, no. Buckner, no. Loose ball. Broncos, another chance here. And Lopez the block, but a foul against the Rebels. And Lopez a little bit shaken up. Take a look at some highlights here. And here's Perryman. This was the big one, Coach.
Oh, that's a tough shot. Stopping like that, stepping, getting your footwork down, and nailing it. And then he's going to fall down here and trying to get the extra shot, but they're only going to give Nichols 3 on that.
We now send it back to our Denver studios for the Geico Game Break. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Now, one of the things Andrea said, and it factually correct, San Diego State is 4-0, so they, record-wise, have the best record. But I think the marquee game in the second half of the schedule is going to be when San Diego State has to go to UNLV. And then we're really going to at least have a look where both teams have had a home game against each other.
Well, and the other thing, you're right, from a marquee standpoint. But the other thing is then the game before that for both teams and the game after that for both teams, will be important, because if one of them gets to peaking, then all of a sudden that game isn't as important.
That's a coach talking right there. Got to stay mentally focused. All right, let's check back on the injury to Lopez.
Uses his body well. It looked like he tweaked it as opposed to coming down with his weight all on it. Hopefully he's going to be okay. Hopefully it's not a severe break or twist. But you know, the other thing that's interesting is Marshall and Stanback have not been very productive in this basketball game.
I was ready to anoint Anthony Marshall through a quarter of the or a little more than a quarter of the conference schedule as the Mountain West Player of the Year, but it was a show. You know, this conference is tough, and it's hard to do it every single night.
And see, everybody's patting you on the back. You don't know what's going on campus, and he got away from what he was doing well tonight.
A little less than 11 minutes to go, a 2-point lead for the Running Rebels. It's going to be a foul. It's going to be on Perryman.
Yeah, and it was a good cut. You could have let it go, but it was a legit foul.
That's team foul number 5 on the Broncos. Just 3 team fouls for UNLV. Hawkins doesn't want the 3. Tough shot. No. Loose ball. Another possession for the Rebels.
The Broncos have gone back to man-to-man. And why? I'm not really sure, except they were given too many three-point shots. Open looks.
Marshall misses, and then Thomas is fouled on the putback attempt. And that again is on Perryman. Third one on Perryman.
You got to be careful now, because there's a lot of time left. He doesn't want to pick up that 4th.
So Thomas back to the free throw line. 2 for 2 on the night.
One of the things the Rebels must do against that man-to-man is take the ball and go to the basket.
Soft touch there for Thomas. Transfer from Kansas. Drew Wiley back in the game, along with Anthony Dremick.
And if the Broncos are going to win this, Ari, Dremick's got to get some buckets. Can't rely just on the other freshmen.
4 points for Thomas, all of them coming from the free throw line.
You know, the other thing, the Rebels really haven't pressed tonight, and they really are a good pressing team.
And Marks gets Hawkins up in the air, and Hawkins got to be careful. Officials don't like it when you get that emotional right in front of their face, in front of the crowd.
You can't do what he just did.
I'm surprised they let him get away with it.
Yeah, because he charged right at the official. No, you can't do that.
And it was from beyond the arc. So I think they're going to go, and look to make sure the footwork here, whether his feet were behind the line.
It was really, we were alluding to this earlier. It was the old NBA thing, and it's a very good shot fake, and then get into the defensive man's body.
All right, so they're checking to see whether his feet were behind the line. Oh, yeah, he's behind the line. On the pump fake, let's see. I still think he's behind the line.
Oh, yeah, he is. Yeah.
I think he's going to get 3 of them. Marks does not play like a freshman. He has a basketball IQ. I mean, he really knows how to initiate contact, how to get guys up in the air. And we've seen this a few times tonight with him.
I think the Broncos have used, see, that's what you can't do. I think the Broncos have used shot fakes very, very well. Now, Lopez did early for the Rebels, but then he was on the bench a lot, and nobody else was really utilizing shot fakes.
Well, that's a good use of film study, because the Rebels love to block shots. And so, you talk about in practice, you want to do a lot of shot fakes, and it's been effective tonight for Boise State. So 10 minutes and 8 seconds to go in the second half. UNLV came flying out of the gates, leading 12-0. And then Derek Marks kind of kept Boise State in it. He had their first 6 points. And he had an electrifying dunk in the first half. Really got the crowd and his team energized. And it's been a back-and-forth affair ever since.
Two things happened. Coach Leon Rice took the timeout. And Derek Marks took over. And then all of a sudden, it became a basketball game. And the man deserves some credit. I don't know what he said to him. And we might not be able to repeat it.
Maybe not verbatim.
Exactly. We could paraphrase.
Paraphrase it for
there
sure,
you go.
Coach.
There you go.
I'm sure in your days as an assistant with Bobby Knight, you learned how to paraphrase some of his communication to the players.
Holy smokes. I could write a book.
Yeah, I bet you could. I don't think he wants you to, though.
No, I wouldn't look forward to that phone call.
No, I don't think you would. Talk about an intimidating guy.
Yeah, Coach Knight could intimidate.
Marks hits the first free throw.
But you know something? You can only be intimidated if you choose to be intimidated.
Derek Marks now with 17 points.
He and Mosier, but he still, I think, is the best player on the floor there overall.
I agree with you. Marshall got hit. No call. Long pass up court, and Marshall won that battle. It's a tough battle, and Marks is shaken up. Stanback had trouble getting rid of that ball.
Should not have shot the ball. If you bobble the ball, don't shoot it. Got charged here.
Offensive foul on Marshall, and that's his fourth foul. Nice job by Drew Wiley taking the charge.
You got to pull up. Great defensive position.
He made that easy on the official.
Oh, that was an easy call.
And Marshall shaking up right now.
I don't know how hurt Marshall is, and hopefully he's all right, or whether he's just so angry at himself. Because, you know, you've got to be smart enough to pull up short there and take a 6-footer, or avoid the man who just came out to take the charge.
I think it was a little bit of frustration. He wanted to really make an aggressive play there. He has struggled so much shooting tonight, just 2 for 11.
Right yeah, see.
Replays are brought to you by America First Credit Union, where members come first.
See, he was looking at the official to see the call before he put his hands over his eyes, so hopefully he's not hurt badly.
Even if he's okay, you probably got to take him out, Coach. He's got 4 fouls, and we've still got 9:34 to play. So he's going to have a chance to kind of collect his thoughts.
Yeah. But I tell you what, I wouldn't leave him a long time. I'd set him down a little bit, and I'd say, okay, don't foul out unless it's a game-winning situation. Make sure that whatever you do, you know, you avoid a foolish foul and then play.
Derek Marks on the other end of the floor trying to walk off his injury.
Well, Buckner's pass was really a poor decision on his part. As I say, this is what the Rebels haven't done tonight that I thought they would. Next press, put pressure, more pressure on the ball handler, 94 feet.
So Marks right now being attended to by a trainer as he's standing up. Buckner gets the dunk, and this game is tied at 50.
Confusion on the ball screen. Who was to guard the roll man?
The Rebels getting a stiff challenge on the road here at Taco Bell Arena. Stanback, very nice. Fake, and he knocks down the jumper.
I thought they might call travel. It was an excellent offensive move by Stanback, who's been quiet.
Very
he just
quiet.
alluded to that. Rebels have got to penetrate against that man-to-man.
Stanback's got 8 points in the game. I checked that. His last field goal gives him 10, so he's in double figures. Nichols from 16. No. Mosier the rebound. Loses the handle. Oh, nice extra pass by Wiley to set up Dremick.
That was really a smart play. I thought he's going to get that shot blocked.
And UNLV gets a timeout. The game tied at 52. Curious about that timeout just because the next whistle is probably going to come under 8 minutes. And then he's going to get immediate timeout. But Dave Rice did not want to wait. He wanted to make sure they got a good possession here.
No, he's got something specific in mind. And so it was important enough to him to take that timeout that he didn't worry about the TV thing. And he just said, all right, this is what I see that I want done, either offensively or defensively. And what he's got to do is get those guys penetrating, go into the bucket, create an offense the way that the Rebels do so well.
The student section and the fans here are having a great time. They have put on an inspired performance, an inspired shorthanded performance with a couple of starters out with injuries. And coming off just a disheartening loss where they collapsed late against TCU. But not tonight against the number 12 team in the country. Hanging tough. Masamba. Going against Buckner. No.
Need to continue to do that, though. Take it down inside. That's what Coach Rice wanted.
Throw play to Nichols. Rowplay's had a very nice game.
Got to get Drimmick moving a little bit so he can come off some screens and catch and shoot. Too much standing.
Nichols, the jumper, gets it to go. Trey Nichols.
He's averaging 3 points a game now, you know that.
He's not acting like it tonight. Not scared to shoot in this big situation. Stanback's got a height advantage here. Goes for the fadeaway and misses.
Loves that.
And Nichols goes and gets it.
He loves that shot.
.640 and counting, second half. Major upset, perhaps in the making. And Perryman can't get it to go.
Broncos have done a marvelous job of keeping the Rebels from running.
Belfield the three.
Big time or what? Just come down and stroke that puppy.
Senior point guard from Los Angeles steps up and knocks down the triple. So the Rebels retake the lead. Nichols, stop and pop. Wow, a long two for Trey Nichols. And Nichols has got 8 points. What a moment for the senior. Belfield, and it gets blocked by Perryman. The Broncos riding high on emotion. Drimmick is fired up. Nichols fired up. We've got a 1-point game. Boise State leads UNLV 56-55. The sixth man of the game is brought to you by Motel 6, official economy lodging partner of basketball fans everywhere. Thomas Brokeland. Off the bench, 12 points and 11 rebounds. The double-double for Thomas Brokeland.
And he's only averaging 8 a game. He's been the X factor tonight along with Nichols. Trey Nichols has just done them. Those two have really elevated their game, and they've done it without Drimmick. If Drimmick gets going here, it'll really get interesting.
And you mentioned, Brokeland only averages 7.5 points per game. And he only averages not even 3.5 rebounds per game. Really stepping up tonight.
Going back down inside.
Belfield, open triple. No. Ball knocked out of bounds. It'll be Bronco basketball.
Bronco defense got to be careful. They got to make a big decision there because the ball went inside. They collapsed, threw it back out to the open shooter.
That's as good a look as they can hope for.
Oh, I know. Belfield just didn't get it down.
How about this, Coach? You would have thought coming in, given the size advantage for UNLV, they dominate points in the paint. As Boise State turns it over, they've doubled up UNLV 24 to 12 points in the paint.
UNLV, and I don't understand this, got away from what made them good. Down inside and penetration to the bucket.
We have not seen Anthony Marshall return to the game since he got hurt. He is on the bench right now, and he has 4 fouls. So Coach Rice maybe just waiting for some time to go by. Stand back, can't get off the shot. Plenty of time on the shot clock. The Rebels trailing by 1. And poor spacing there for the Rebels.
Really good defense to jar it out of his hands. So Masamba just lost the ball. Yeah, you gotta be careful here.
Brooklyn, the triple, rattles home. Thomas Brooklyn. The lead is 4.
Mosher rotated down onto the post and wasn't able to get back out.
A foul against Boise State. I believe that's team foul 7. So Belfield will shoot the 1-and-1.
See Mosher down there, right there on the post, right there. Now he can't get back out. Man's wide open.
I don't understand why he's double teaming there. Don't you feel like the UNLV post defender there is fine on his own?
Got to play 1-1. And Broke plays the man of the hour.
Yeah.
So you got to say, hey, we got to take him out of the game. You know, so, yeah, not very smart defensively.
So Belfield to shoot the 1-and-1 is 76% free throw shooter. And the senior calmly makes the free throw.
No, that's another interesting thing about this game. The Broncos average 21 free throws a game. They aren't close to that.
Neither team has gotten to the line much.
No.
The Rebels have only attempted 9 free throws, and the Broncos 13.
But a lot of the Rebels aren't the Rebels that we've seen earlier this year.
Well, they've struggled away from home. I mean, this has been a theme. I mean, all 3 of their losses have come on the road. They're only 4-3 all season long on the road. Nice screen. Nichols stop and pop. Off the back iron, loose ball. Mosher tracks it down.
That's a good ball screen. He got a good look.
Stand back, the 3. Rebels retake the lead. 5-0 run.
Drimmick's got to push him further out, but give that young man credit. He stepped and just stroked that ball.
Stanback's got 13 points on 5 of 11 shooting. He's knocked down 3 triples. None bigger than the last one. Drimmick misses it. He had to shoot over Mosher. Marshall back in the game. That's good news for the running Rebels. Stand back again. Mosher's tip, no. Marks the rebound. Oh, and stripped by Marshall. And Marshall, he's done. That's 5 fouls on Anthony Marshall.
Offensive foul on Anthony Marshall. 5th personal foul.
So Anthony Marshall fouls out of the game with just 5 points on 2 of 11 shooting. He did chip in 7 rebounds. Marshall, the Mountain West reigning player of the week, his night is through. And the Rebels are clinging to a 1-point lead. But Stanback, the senior, stepping up big time on the road. Mountain College basketball is brought to you by Ram Trucks. Guts, glory, Ram. By Remax, the sign you want, the agent you need. And by America First Credit Union, where members come first. Welcome back. What a game we have for you here on the mountain. The UNLV Running Rebels, the number 12 team in the country, a 1-point lead over Boise State. Out-of-town scoreboard is brought to you by RE/MAX, the sign you want, the agent you need. San Diego State, a winner last night up in Laramie. TCU wins against Air Force and Colorado State. Down by 21 at the pit, and you got to imagine New Mexico frustrated at how they've started off conference play. And Colorado State may be in the wrong place at the wrong time tonight.
That's a really good point. Yeah, every emotional advantage was in New Mexico's favor.
So Anthony Marshall, done. Just 2 for 11. How about this, Coach? UNLV only shooting 35% in the game, and actually just a hair better from the three-point line. You can live with this number, 36%. Broke play. Not this time. Mosier the rebound. And Mosier's going to lead the break. Set up Belfield, the three. Count it. A very nice play by Mosier. He set that whole thing up.
When they run, they're good. And to get back to what you're alluding to, Ari, they're shooting 48% from the field for the year.
And Boise State has really played well defensively. Dremick, they need it, can't deliver. Mosier, another rebound. Mosier's got 15 rebounds to go on with his 13 points. And that key assist on the last trip down.
Need to penetrate. Need to get the ball down inside.
A dangerous pass, and Marks knocks it out of bounds. You know, we've been going through the game, Coach, saying who's been the best player on the floor. For much of the game, it was that guy we had there, number 2, Derek Marks. Now I actually think that Mosier has squeezed ahead a little bit, but both guys have been tremendous. As Mosier has really stepped up when his teammates have needed him.
You want me to respond to that?
You can choose to do whatever you want. You're the coach. You just tell me I don't know anything. More bother me.
No. But see, you don't remember how desperate a situation it was for the Broncos.
Masamba misses the shot, but he'll go to the free throw line as Buckner tried to take the charge, but it was called the block. Nice bounce pass.
See, that if they drive and create problems, they're hard to guard. Boise State's got to make a critical decision here. Stay with that man or get out of it. And right now, with 2 minutes to go, that's tough. I'd get out of it right now.
Masamba now 0 for 3 from the free throw line.
And if they throw the ball down into him, I wouldn't double. I'd let Masamba go one-on-one. And if I was Coach Rice from UNLV, I'd throw it down in there to him.
So Masamba gets the free throw. It's 9 straight points for UNLV. They trailed by 4. Now they lead by 5. Time becoming a factor. And Mosier commits a foul, an unnecessary foul.
Yeah, he reached for the ball. It's a really foolish foul.
And that's going to send Dremick to the free throw line for the 1-and-1, which makes it the foul far worse.
And you never know with a youngster like Dremick. You know, shooters, they just need a little something to get them going. Will these 2 free throws, if he gets them down, get him going? You just don't know. That's why it was a double foolish mistake.
Dremick averaging 13 points on the season, just 6 tonight. And he misses the front end of the 1-on-1, but Bro play there to give the Broncos another chance. They need some points. And Marks has been the man. Sets up Dremick. Got it! The Aussie delivers in crunch time, and it's a 2-point game.
Oh, it's a great penetration, though. The defense collapsed. You don't come off of Dremick. You got to stay there. But what a big shot.
Dremick now 1 for 8 from beyond the arc. Good ball movement. Hawkins is 3. No. Jump ball possession to the running Rebels.
Watch the drive. The defense pulls right there. Now you can't get back to him. Battlefield, you got to stay with the hero.
Beautiful assist there from Marks, his 4th of the night.
Coach Rice from Boise State wanted a timeout there, and he did call it, but to the officials' defense, there's no way they could see or hear him.
Less than 90 seconds to go. Belfield in traffic. No. Marks. Throw play didn't want the three. And Dremick a little out of control, but the ball's going to be out of bounds. It will remain Boise State basketball. The road ahead is brought to you by Dodge, never neutral. There you see, staying on the road, UNLV heading to Air Force on Saturday.
You got that, right?
I do. Looking forward to it.
Now, you take a timeout here, or you let them play?
That's up to you, Coach. I'm supposed to be the one asking you that question. Let them play. Okay.
Because now the defense can change defenses. They can say, concentrate on this or that. Let your kids play. Unless you see that there's some real confusion there.
Marks. And he's fouled and will go to the free throw line. Derek Marks. What a night for the freshman from Joliet, Illinois. The road ahead for Boise State. They've got Wyoming at home, then at San Diego State. Back here to play New Mexico, at Air Force, and home against Colorado State. There's just no easy games this year. You can look at the schedule and think, okay, check that one off. They've got somebody at home. They'll get a win. But
top to bottom, this league is very, very good.
Up to 5th in the country in conference RPI. As they inch ahead of the ACC conference this week, which kind of blows your mind a little bit. So a chance to tie the game here for Derek Marks. Makes the free throw. He matches his career high with 20 points. They do not. Boise State does not want Belfield getting the basketball. And Dave Rice gets a timeout. And it'll be a full timeout. So 47.9 seconds to go. Game tied at 64, Coach. Anthony Marshall's fouled out. Who's the go-to guy here for the Runnin' Rebels?
Well, there are two decisions. That's one of them. Now, do you go 2 for 1?
Yes.
Okay. Because that's one of the decisions he's got to make. But who do you go to? I think you have to go to your leading scorers, and you can put the ball in Mosier's hands, drive, and then create something out of there. But it's got to be in Mosier's hands, or it's got to be in Hawkins' hands and in play.
I like stand back, too, as an option. He's a great shooter. Drive the Hoop is brought to you by Jeep. Visit Jeep.com or your local dealer.
All right, stand back, though. That's got to be the second option.
So here's Perryman, this beautiful bounce pass to Dremick.
I'll tell you what, for a guy who just learned how to play that position, he does really well.
Yeah, beautiful, beautiful pass. But yes, to use the expression more commonly referred to by the professional basketball players, I think you got to go 2 for 1 here because you want to have the last shot.
Then put the ball down on the block quickly and take it to the bucket. Not necessarily with Masamba. You could put somebody else down there that's a better free throw shooter.
Yeah, exactly. Because I'm thinking if I'm Leon Rice and Masamba gets the ball, I want my guys to foul him.
Yeah. But get it in close and make Boise State make a decision. Are we going to foul or not?
Stand back will inbound the basketball. 24-second difference between game clock to shot clock. But if they want a 2 for 1, they've got to get a shot up here. They can't even wait for 12 seconds to go by. It's got to be in the first 7 or 8 seconds. Masamba in the post. It's stand back for And Mosher gets stripped. And Boise State gets the timeout. So Boise State can have the last shot here and a chance for a huge upset. Certainly it'll be the biggest win if they can do it in Leon Rice's short tenure here at Boise State.
Now UNLV has created problems with the press. So if they shut them out, it could really bode well for them and create another turnover situation. Now, you're going to let that shot clock run down. You're not going to give UNLV much of a chance unless you get a simple lay-in. And then you're going to spread them out, screen on the ball, go one-on-one.
This copyrighted telecast of the Mountain West is intended solely for the entertainment of our audience. And any retransmission, reproduction, rebroadcast, or other use or dissemination of this telecast, or the pictures, descriptions, or accounts of this game without the express written consent of the Mountain West Conference is prohibited. Well, if you're just joining us, we are coming to you from Taco Bell Arena in Boise, Idaho. Ari Wolf alongside the coach, Bob Donewald, in a game that started out all UNLV. They led 12-0. Then Leon Rice got a timeout, and a true freshman, Derek Marks, sparked the team, and he's continued to deliver all night. And Boise State now can hold for one, and arguably the biggest win ever in this building, taking down the number 12 team in America.
Yeah, but I want to tell you something. You fiddle with the ball too much, you're playing into the Rebels' hands because they really are good defensively. So you got to really be careful and protect that ball. Sooner or later, the ball is going to go into March's hands, and then we'll see. And if he drives and you're guarding Drimmick, you better stay with Drimmick because he'll pitch the ball. Let's see, the Rebels are going to press.
I think it's a good idea. Put some pressure on.
Absolutely. Boise State's had trouble with this.
I love it that they're playing the Rocky theme in here right now. Get everybody fired up. Just token pressure.
Got it in March's hands.
The Broncos on a 5-0 run. And they get it to 7-0 and get a huge win for this program. They're content to take time off the clock here. Marks has been the star. Broke play for the win. It's blocked. And we're going to overtime. Great drama in Boise. And the Rebels and the Broncos not done just yet. 5 more minutes of basketball coming up. As the Rebels dodge a bullet on that last possession. I thought Marks held the ball too long out here before they got in to their offense.
Well, take a look at it with the clock. He could have gone a second or two earlier. The screen really isn't that good of a screen on it. I thought the Rebels really played it well. See how he scoots over and forces him? You'd have been better off letting somebody who could shoot the ball screen and flare as opposed to a man like Buckner who can't shoot the ball. Because if he flares and you pitch it over to him, you got a wide open shot.
All right, Coach, we're headed to overtime. No more Anthony Marshall. He's fouled out for UNLV. The Broncos certainly take momentum into overtime with the final 5 points in regulation. Let's start with the running Rebels. What do they need to do to come out with a win in overtime?
Take the ball and go to the basket. Really run, but don't look for that long-range shot. If your shooters have got it wide open, do so, and get the ball inside. Throw the ball down in there and see if you can create some offense.
How about for the Broncos?
They got to create a one-on-one play, but don't let everybody stand around like on that last play. It's too easy to guard. Your screens, you got to be able to throw the ball back to the screener and then run some offense out of it.
Great stuff, you know. It's the beauty of college basketball, and you were on it before I was earlier today. You sort of never know what's going to happen. You can think it's going to go one way, but the beauty is you have no idea. until they tip it off and play. And Boise State, considering all their injuries, it's hard to imagine that they could play with the number 12 team in the country, but an inspired effort tonight from the Broncos.
Well, it wasn't hard for me to imagine. I mean, as I say, I've been on both benches. I've been there where they said, well, there's no way you could play with that team. And we upset one year. Purdue was the Big Ten champion, and we were a mediocre mid-major team. But I've also won the Missouri Valley Conference and got beat by the worst team in the league. So, as I say, I've been on both benches. I know how both coaches feel, and I talked to him about it today. And Coach Rice from UNLV, he was concerned about this very thing today.
How about this? Points off turnovers. Boise State with 19. UNLV only with 9 points off turnovers.
See, you know, part of it, give credit to Boise State. But I just don't think at times UNLV has been as assertive and reacted as well, extended their defenses like they have in the past.
Now, we already told you that Marshall's fouled out. We have not seen Carlos Lopez since we thought that, we thought it was an ankle. We weren't entirely sure, but so UNLV down a couple guys here as we go to overtime here. Just about to get underway. Masamba to jump against Buckner. And this one's coming in our lap, Coach.
Oh,
nice catch.
Look at that. Hey,
Coach made the
good
play.
hands.
Look, I mean, you were right there, Coach.
I saw that puppy coming.
I thought Dremick was maybe coming in our lap. You see how quickly I bailed out of there?
Yeah, I'll tell you what. I waited to see what he was going to do before I reached out to get it.
Well, that marks. He hustles and look at Dremick down on the floor. And it's going to be possession. It's got to be to Boise State. UNLV won the tip.
Those two freshmen play big time. Now, I know Dremick's had a terrible shooting performance, but that young man's got a bright, bright future.
Oh, he's playing with some heart down the stretch.
Oh, and he's made some passes, and he's emotionally into it. He isn't sulking or pouting.
Well, they're going to say here that UNLV never had possession. And you really see this is the third time we're going to jump it to start overtime. Rebel basketball.
Not sure that wasn't over and back.
I'm with you. He had 1 foot. Belfield clearly in the front court.
He brought the ball into the front court. Get it down inside.
Masamba going to work on Buckner. Masamba gets it to go.
It's exactly what they have to do. Now the Broncos can't stand around, just let one guy do it.
7 points for Masamba. Shot no good. Mosier, another rebound. That's 18 rebounds. Hawkins in traffic. He tried to go 1-on-3 and it's blocked, but it will remain Rebel basketball.
Broncos decide to stay one-on-one, don't double. Just backs him in, uses that size and strength. That's tough to guard. Can't get hung up on that screen like that.
From 16 off the back iron, Mosier tracks it down. Rebound number 19 for Mosier. He had 20 rebounds in his first game for the Rebels against Grand Canyon.
Road play didn't block out, didn't go after the ball.
Shot clock at 10. Stand back. Can't get it on. Mosier can. High arc and rainbow, no. And Hawkins, the offensive rebound. They're making Boise State play a lot of defense this trip. Masamba, that looks like a travel, no call. Hawkins, no. It'll go to the free throw line.
I don't think it was a travel because I think he used the same foot. There were 2 steps, but I think it was with the same foot. And see, the Broncos at the last second decided to double on him, and then he was able to find Hawkins right underneath the basket because Hawkins moved, and his defensive man went over to rotate or double up on Masamba.
Hawkins tonight, this is his first trip to the free throw line, 65% on the season. Big free throws here for the junior.
I've always felt, Ari, the team that scores first, if they can get a 2 or 3, really has an advantage. Now, it doesn't always play out that way, but it just really puts pressure then on the other end of the court that, oh, man, if we don't score here.
You start to press a little bit.
Exactly.
Chance to make it a 2-possession game. And only 1 for 2 for Hawkins.
Now, don't go for the 3. If you got an open 3, fine. If not, just play, Broncos.
Mark's not in the game right now. Nichols running the point, so he goes with the senior. Bro play gives to the Aussie, who finds Buckner, and Buckner to the free throw line.
Dremick can really pass the basketball.
Good vision.
Oh, you know, he has a presence about it. That's why I say, that young man is going to be a heck of a basketball player. See, he's trying to score right there. That's what people don't realize. He's not going underneath there saying, who's open. The scorers are looking to score.
Buckner misses the first free throw. He's 0 for 3 in the game from the charity stripe. And you said that was going to be critical at home, that they needed to make their free throws.
Yes, I did. And Buckner can make them. I mean, he's 69% free throw shooter.
And he goes 1 for 2. So as a team, they're 12 for 18 from the line. 2-point lead for the Running Rebels. And Moser at 6'8" brings it into the front court.
See, with that man-to-man, this is where you miss Marshall, being able to take that ball and create.
Moser looking for Masamba. Belfield, the triple. Yes! Oscar Belfield.
Bro play reacted to the penetration. Excellent feed. Big time shot.
Belfield's now got 13 points. He hasn't shot it well, 4 of 13, but he's hit key shots. I cannot understand why Derek Marks isn't back in the game.
Unless he hurt himself when he dove for the ball there.
Oh, dribble!
And the layup is missed.
Had to get that down.
Dremick cannot finish. Rebels get points here. Things are going to look awfully challenging for the Broncos.
Here comes Marks now. I don't know why he was out that long.
And he's been the catalyst. Oh, turnover.
Now be careful here. Smart play.
Bro play. No. Moser the rebound. That's his 20th rebound. Why isn't Boise State fouling?
They need to.
That's a lot of time to come off the clock there. You're down to 20 on the shot clock. That's 15 wasted seconds. I mean, you're down 5 with less than a minute to go. You got to stretch the game.
You got to stretch the game.
Moser to the free throw line.
This would be a good time to take a timeout too, and so you let your kids know what you want out of them. Now, I'll go back and say this: don't take a silly 3. If you got an open 3, fine. If not, take the ball to the basket. You need to score.
So Moser now has 14 points and 20 rebounds. Also has 2 steals and 2 blocks. And Perryman goes to the bench.
Not sure why Marks was out as long as he was.
He played so well all night. This is the big one right here. It's 7. And UNLV gets a timeout. And it's a full timeout.
You know what UNLV could do right here is go to a zone. Because a three-point shot won't, put the Broncos in the lead, and they may spend more time moving the ball around because now it's a clock situation. And if it takes another 5, 6, 7, 8 seconds to get your shot, that bodes well for them.
You see the game reset on your screen. And the Rebels, it looks like, are going to dodge a bullet here in Boise in a game where UNLV thought, I think a lot of people thought it would be a comfortable victory given that Boise State had lost 4 straight games. But as the coach has been teaching me all day, he's been on both sides of this. And Leon Rice hit the right buttons, especially having freshman Derek Marks in the starting lineup. And he really got this team going when they really needed it in the first half.
And it'll be interesting to see the carryover value for both teams in their next contest. I'm going to tell you something. This 5 minutes, the emotion and all takes a lot out of you. So now, Boise State, if they lose, has got to be able to recover and come in here Saturday. And even with a win, the Rebels have got to go on the road and play in a situation where they don't like playing against that offense.
They don't like going to play at Air Force. That's well documented. But also, this is especially tough. They're going to get home tomorrow. They didn't take a charter. They're getting home tomorrow. And then you got to turn around and fly back and go to Colorado Springs and go to Clune Arena and play Air Force on Saturday. That's pretty tough sledding.
The only thing I will say is that if they can go in there as a winner, it will help them as opposed to going in as a loser. People say, well, you win out or lose it. Once in a great while if you have a great team. Other than that, give me the win. People say, well, that was a bad win or an ugly win. I never in my entire life had a bad win.
Proud of every single one of them, right, Coach?
Absolutely. Winning is what it's all about. That's why that clock's on.
I'm looking forward to your interview with Coach Rice. I guess in this case, it could be either one in this game, and I mean Dave Rice. There's a blocking foul underneath on Mosier. And Bro played to the free throw line. And this thing isn't over yet.
No, it isn't. And that's the first time tonight that Boise State has thrown the ball to the screener because the defense was concerned about the ball, penetrator, and he had an angle to go get something done.
Bro play tonight, 15 points and 13 rebounds. Make it 16. He's 2 for 2 from the free throw line. And now Leon Rice is going to go small, take Buckner out of the game. So he's got 5 guys who can pressure the basketball on the floor. But if they don't get the steal immediately, they got to foul.
Well, it all depends on who they're fouling and that kind of thing. You got to know who now you want to foul.
And again, they're not fouling quickly enough.
Now you got to do it. Now you got it. You got it.
Well, and then the foul comes, but 9 seconds come off the shot clock. And I was watching Leon Rice's, all of his assistants were saying foul, foul, foul. But he's got a young team. I mean, no matter what happens, both coaches are going to have a lot of teaching points after tonight.
Oh, without question. And it's been a well-played basketball game.
Yeah. Very entertaining. And then Mosier now has 16 points. I think we have an early candidate for next week's Mountain West Player of the Week, and Mike Mosier.
Oh, you just bailed out on Marks, haven't you? I mean, how can he not be a candidate?
He can't be a candidate because his team is going to lose.
You can still be a candidate for Player of the Week.
Okay, well, they got a game on Saturday.
I mean, because
Mosier's the front runner right now.
Because without Marks tonight, you could say this game is a 30-point differential.
Could be. Well, I don't have a vote anyway. You need to take up your cause with me.
Neither do I.
I mean, I might call over to the league office. I'll get Kim Melcher on the phone, especially after this whole song.
There you go.
And I'm like, what do I got to do to get Mosier to play the league?
Go.
He's already won it a couple times this year, so. All right, this is a huge free throw coming up for Mosier. He can make it a 7-point game.
3 possessions.
Yep.
That's what's really big. Now, again, I'll tell you, Broncos, don't throw some junk 3-point shot out there. They take it to the bucket. If you're open, go ahead and let the 3 go. But 3 points isn't going to win it for you. Score and get that clock stopped. Go all the way.
5-point game.
Now you got foul.
What are they waiting for?
You know, it's a fine line. Dremick has got the foul, but he can't make it an intentional foul where, you know, that kind of thing. But he wasn't assertive enough on it. I think he knew what he wanted, but he was fouling like it was a high school game as opposed to major college basketball. Does that make sense?
You always make perfect sense. I'm just here to learn, Coach. Free throw is good for Stanback. I tell you, the Rebels have handled their free throws down the stretch.
Winners know how to win. I've always said that.
Perryman the 3. Nope. Mosier the rebound. And Mosier is fouled. So 3 players for the Rebels will finish tonight in double figures. Mosier leading the way with 17, Stanback with 15, and Belfield with 13. Well, a nice round of applause from the fans here at Taco Bell Arena for their team, who battled incredibly hard tonight against the number 12 team in the country. And they had a shot at the end of the game, but Mosier blocked the shot.
Well, it wasn't a well-designed play.
No.
They had to screen on the ball, but they had to have somebody where they could throw back to who could shoot it, like they did with Bro play a minute ago.
8-point lead. Final seconds. And Nichols hits the 3. Trey Nichols played very well in the second half. And this game is over, but what a game. UNLV survives in overtime. They improved to 19-3. 3-1 in Mountain West play. For Leon Rice, a night that his team gave them everything they had, but they couldn't come up with a win. They are now 10-9, 0-4 in conference play. And both teams with stern tests coming up on Saturday, and 45 minutes of tremendous basketball here at Taco Bell Arena. Coming up on the Mountain West Sports Report presented by Dodge, join Bill Doman, Andrea Lloyd, and Fred Langley as they bring you up to speed on all the latest news in the Mountain West. TCU a winner tonight. New Mexico was up big. I assume that they won as well. Sure that they were going to have all that info for you. We were so immersed in our game, but UNLV finds a way to get it done. 5-point win, 77-72 in overtime. That's a nice moment as Derek Marks giving some high fives to the fans. As Derek Marks played an incredible basketball game. The true freshman, 7 of 13 from the field, 21 points, 6 rebounds, and 4 assists for Derek Marks. And Coach Donowald getting into position to talk with Dave Rice, who I'm sure his blood pressure was extremely high tonight, as it took everything that the Rebels had to come away with a victory. But in the end, as Coach Donowald said, it doesn't matter whether it was ugly or it was tough. They find a way to get the win. We're having some minor technical difficulties. Now it appears that Coach Donowald in position with Coach Rice.
Coach, the score's tied. They got the ball the last play of the game. What are you telling your kids?
to do exactly what we've done all year long, and that's to be able to count on our defense. And we did a great job. We guarded the ball. Our execution was perfect. We what we call blacked the ball screen. We made them skip it, and then Mike Moser made an unbelievable block. Just a terrific team effort. A lot of credit goes to Coach Rice and Boise. They were ready for us, and it was good to get out of here with the win.
Tell me about Moser and his contribution tonight.
Unbelievable. Mike is as sick as a guy can be. He hasn't missed practice. He's such a tough kid, and yet he just keeps battling back and finding a way. And we needed everybody tonight. Got contributions off our bench, and it took us a while. We've risen to every challenge this year, and it took us a while tonight to rise to this challenge. I thought we were terrific in the overtime period.
One final question. Now you go to Air Force, another road game. What are you going to say to your kids in the locker room?
We need to learn from this. We have not been very good starting games on the road. We've been able to get away with it, but it's going to catch up to us. And again, it was a great team effort finding a way, but we've got to start games better. But I'm proud of our resiliency. It's another win, but we got to continue to get better. But big challenge on Saturday at Air Force.
Coach, we enjoyed watching your team play. Continued the very best.
Coach, thank you very much. It was a great environment, a great atmosphere here. Thanks so much.
All right, our thanks to Coach Donewald and to Coach Rice. Final score, UNLV 77, Boise State 72. Specialized statistical information provided by Stats. Tune in Saturday for a Mountain West men's hoops triple header. It's Wyoming taking on Boise State at 1:30 to tip things off, followed by TCU visiting New Mexico at 4, and UNLV visiting Air Force in the nightcap at 7. On behalf of Bob Donewald, I am Ari Wolf. Stay tuned for the Mountain Sports Report presented by Dodge. Starting now, this has been a production of the Mountain.